Hey, it's Tom Jordan. Coming up on this edition of the program, we got two amazing guests. Dave Rubin, he is the host of the Rubin Report, also the author of the just-released book, Don't Burn This Book, Thinking for Yourself in an Age of Unreason. Also, we have Peter Kozodoy. He is a TEDx speaker, and he's the author of Honest to Greatness, How Today's Greatest Leaders Use Brutal Honesty to Achieve Massive Success. That's in this edition of Tom Jordan's Got Issues.
You thought you had issues?
You've been shot at in a train wreck.
I love my country.
Wait until you hear this.
I required that as a requirement.
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
She calls you a liar.
This is, I gotta check it out. I can't lie about facts.
Tom Jordan?
Great to be with you, Tom.
You don't strike me as someone who's clutching your pearls.
Major issues there.
I don't have pearls.
Tom Jordan's Got Issues.
Oh, you know I do, and so do you. Right, we all got these issues, and my issue right now is something that seems to be lying just under the surface of society. It's called lying, dishonesty. People are a bit disingenuous. Have you noticed? And truth be told, it's likely that you and I fall into that category far more often than we want to admit. We have two great guests on the program today. Peter Kozodoy, he's a TEDx speaker and author of Honest to Greatness, How Today's Greatest Leaders Use Brutal Honesty to Achieve Massive Success. That's right. Also, Dave Rubin, he is the host of the Rubin Report. He's a YouTube sensation with more than 225 million views, more than 1 million subscribers, and he is the author of the just-released Don't Burn This Book, Thinking for Yourself in an Age of Unreason. Has to do with honesty and dishonesty as well. He shares his story of being honest, and the degree to which he was honest with himself personally had a direct correlation to an immense amount of success personally and professionally. Listen to this.
All a society can do is give you equality under the law, and then the rest is luck and hard work and grit and the rest of the magic that is life. So I am not oppressed, and I don't think any of your listeners are oppressed. If you're not happy with your life, then figure out a way to fix it.
Took him time to realize that, but he's very happy, filled with joy. He said, honest with himself and then with others as well. In fact, most people don't want to admit they're wrong. It is easier, they say, to point out the faults of others. My other guest is Peter Kozodoy. He says we're in the midst right now of two pandemics.
We're living not only in a pandemic of COVID-19, but that we've been living in a pandemic of dishonesty, and for quite some time.
We are going to get to my guests in a moment. Fascinating discussion, revealing as well. To emphasize his point of this pandemic of dishonesty, listen to these random news clips where people are telling people that other people are lying, and some might be lying about their lives.
You don't think this president has lied to the American people?
No,
you
I
have
don't
to answer
think the
that question
president has
first.
lied.
And I was right.
And the Democrats spinning the lies.
The facts are uncontested.
The facts before us are undisputed.
He loves saying things like that because that would be a lovely thing to be able to tell people. Unless, of course, that's not true.
From quid pro quo Joe,
the Democrat Kamala Harris implying
The problem, it left out the crucial first two words.
Numbers do not lie.
It was a failed effort to bribe Ukraine.
But the president notes that none of that is in the articles of impeachment.
Rating her tweet false.
Yeah, they're each right. Everyone else is wrong. Those clips on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. You know, many years ago, I took a few months off from the news business. Honestly, I was going through a really tough time, a couple of back-to-back tragedies, and I kind of needed to figure some things out. In that short time, though, I took a job as the director of public relations for a good-sized advertising agency in Southern California. A few months into that job, here's what I was told was the gist of my job: to create perception because perception is reality. Change the truth here and there to steer people in the way you want them to go. Now, that's not true with all PR people. I'm not saying that at all, in fact. That was just what I was told at one time about my personal and particular job. But it stuck with me so much, I got out of that job and got back into what at the time I considered an honest to goodness news business, and I've been in it ever since. Why do we believe that spitting the truth, being dishonest, is actually better for us? Is it better to conceal the truth Or are there huge successes in business, journalism, relationships, personal well-being, and telling the truth? And is it better to confront others with the truth? Or is it far more effective and liberating to confront ourselves with our own lies? Yeah, fun conversation. Again, my guests for this edition of Tom Jordan's Got Issues are the wildly popular Dave Rubin, the host of the Rubin Report, and the author of Don't Burn This Book, Thinking for Yourself in an Age of Unreason, and Peter Kozodoy, a TEDx speaker and author of Honest to Greatness, How Today's Greatest Leaders Use Brutal Honesty to Achieve Massive Success. If you'd like to hear the interview with my guests, click on the link for the podcast for this edition of Tom Jordan's Got Issues. I'm Tom Jordan, and I got issues.